Yeah, this is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
Let's go.
Time, though, for our chat with Bobby Holland Hanton. Not a household name, but you might know him as Chris Hemsworth's stunt double. He has written a book as well for kids, The Adventures of Eddie and Flipboy. We caught up with him the other day. Let's have a listen.
Bobby, I've had a look through your Instagram. You are a funny bugger. You should be in comedy. You're just so good. How many stunt people have turned into actors? Because you're going to be in your own movies soon. You can just tell.
Yeah, well, funny enough, we shot one. We shot one at the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, which Matthew Vaughn is picked up and producing. So it comes out hopefully later this year. And we've got plans to make another one as well. So I'm kind of hoping I can, have a go at that as well as stunts and writing children's books.
So, just before we get stuck into your children's book, I was wondering, when you become an actor, are you allowed to do your own stunts with the insurance?
Or does Chris Hemsworth have to do your stunts?
What happens then?
Listen, I'm thinking about getting him on the phone and see if he'll come and be my stunt double. He's had enough time acting. What about you?
The tables have turned.
Oh, isn't that hilarious? That'll be great.
The Adventures of Eddie and Flipboy. Can I just say, we speak to a lot of people that write children's books, Bobby, but this is the first one that I've seen that has chapters. Well done, sir. Well done.
You've levelled up.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, and it's got some at the back of the book. It's got some basic nutritional tips and training tips for young kids to have a go at as well. So I think it's it's a good message, and it also gets kids a bit more active, which that's what we all want, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I looked in the back before, Bobby, and they're not just tips for kids. Who wouldn't want to be doing?
Sean's done the routine already.
This will be my routine for this afternoon, so I'm really happy with it. Bobby, we did mention earlier on, for those who've seen Bobby's work, by the way, he's been a stunt double for Chris Hemsworth. We did mention that kind of stuff without going into it, but Thor, all the big movies that Chris has been in.
And others.
Yeah, and of course, James Bond as well. That kind of started it all off for you. Daniel Craig stuff.
Yeah, James Bond. Yeah. It's a great story, actually. I was 23 and I was actually training for the UK stunt register to be qualified in film and TV. And I had 4 of my 6 skills. You have to qualify in 6 out of like a possible 12 here in the UK. And I had a phone call about, I think it was like 10 in the morning on a Monday. And it was someone saying, look, can you come and audition to stunt double for James Bond in Quantum of Solace? And I literally thought it was a mate that was winding me up. I was like, so for about a minute, the phone was like silent. And I was like, oh, this is actually legit. I was like, yes, sir. Yeah, what do you want me to be, sir? To the stunt coordinator. So Monday mornings at Palmer Studios, went through a vigorous, physical, test and got the job. And that was 15 years ago. I'm 38 this week. So yeah, it was a long time ago, but that was my first introduction into stunts in film and TV, and it was right at the top with the best team. So I learned on the ground running. It was good, real good experience. Did
you ever consider any other careers, or were you certain that this is what you were going to head towards?
Well, gymnastics was my from the age of 4 to 17. I was a gymnast, and I competed for Great Britain. I retired when I was 17. All I had in my mind as a kid was I wanted to go to the Olympics. There was an ex-gymnast called Vitaly Sherbo from the Belarus that was the Olympic champion in Barcelona in '92. And I was just like, that is who I want to be, and I want to go to the Olympics. And when that dream got cut short at 17, I was kind of like, what do I do now? I went and played semi-pro football for a few years. But I really felt like that. I had like a physical degree. What I did as a kid, that hard work I put in as a kid really put me in good stead for especially what I do now. So I think I was pretty lucky with that. And my mum was very stern in making sure that I didn't give up gymnastics. I'd kick and scream sometimes, but I want to go and play football. I don't want to do gymnastics anymore. And she'd be like, no, you're going to go and do this. We're going to, you're going to thank me in the end. And now I do thank her massively.
Now, you also did stunts on what Ryan Reynolds calls one of the biggest crimes against movies, and that is Green Lantern. Were you the Green Lantern stunt guy?
I don't know what you're talking about.
We don't bring it up.
Deny.
I was Ryan Reynolds' stunt double, one of his stunt doubles on that film. And at the time we were making it, I was like, this is going to be amazing. And it didn't quite land. But we worked hard on it. We did some good stuff on it.
Yeah. But I like the fact that Ryan Reynolds just takes the piss out of it. It's and John Carter as well. So in John Carter, I don't know if you guys seen it. Like, there's no gravity, so basically he can just like sort of jump really high and stuff. Did you do the wire work on that, or is that something that an actor can do?
A lot of actors do, and I think, fortunately for me, being Chris's stunt double for 10 years, he's so athletic. He can do most of the things himself anyway, but because of insurance reasons and time and schedule, it's just better if I do it while he goes and does what he needs to do. So I think, a lot of actors can do it. And I was only actually on that film, I think I did about 2 or 3 weeks. And then I actually went to New Orleans to do Green Lantern instead of finishing John Clark. So, I don't know which was the worst out of the two, but there was a hell of a lot of wire work on both of those films. So yeah.
Hey Bobby, one of the things you talked about a lot is the fact that you practice all these stunts over and over to make sure you don't hurt yourself, obviously. So there was one that I was looking on your socials that you did was an ad jumping off a high dive board through a car that was suspended, and the car hadn't been modified at all. So how the hell do you practice diving through the doors of a car that's into a pool? That's unbelievable.
There was a little bit of trickery. We did actually do it for real, I will say that, but it was a little bit of trickery. So I dived off of the 10-metre board. I did either a swan dive or a front somersault and into a swan dive, hands first. And then we put the car in and they attached cables to my ankles and they took me up 17 metres through the car, obviously backwards to the top. And then they literally, on action, they just dropped it and it full speed through the car and just stayed in a dive position. I had a pair of Speedos on. I hope this goes right. And it luckily it did. But it was pretty gnarly because we shot it in the morning for the sun where it was in the morning. And then when the sun was in a different place in the afternoon, it was a little bit more windy. And once they called action and dropped me, there was no way of them being able to stop me. So if I was offline, we had to like stop. So a couple of times it got a little bit hairy. It got 3, 2, 1, and I was like, no, it's too windy, and they stopped. So looking back now, it was pretty full on. But it was one of my first ever big gigs, really. It's actually in Barcelona where they shot the Olympics. So it was full on. Yeah.
Have they ever on paper come up with a stunt and you've gone no? Yeah, you cannot safely do that, and you've had to scratch it.
Luckily, no. I think everything that we've has been put in front of us, we've rehearsed it and broken it down into small increments to make it safe and make it repeatable. So we always find a way of getting round what we need to do. And I think the most important thing is like pivotal in that is the safety side of things. We spend a lot of time and kind of move up in small little increments to get it correct and like I said, repeatable on the day. So no, nothing yet is. And hopefully it doesn't. I hope everything gets put. I hope we can find a way around it.
Bobby, famously, stunt doubles and the like, nobody knows who they are because it's a very background job. But yet, you're the star of an iSelect ad. How did that come around?
That's a good ad too. I love it.
Yeah, that came around, and thanks to iSelect, the amazing group of people that contacted me and thanks to Chris as well, that was so cool about the script of basically making fun of him. And he's like, yeah, dude, you need to go and do this. This is amazing. Go and do it and have fun. So I was supposed to fly over to Australia to shoot it, but we were actually shooting Extraction 2 in Prague at the time. So they sent a crew over with the script. And I was like, this is so fun. Yeah. And I love to just messing around with it and having fun. So it worked out pretty well. And I hope to get to do another one with those guys because it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looked really funny, actually. Awesome. I just want to go back a second when you talked about when you have to go through qualification, if you like, to become a stunt double. Do you get an ID card that you can put in your wallet?
A secret badge? What do you do?
What kind of percentage did you get in your test run? Did you have to get above 70%, 80%? How does it work?
Literally, it's funny because whenever you say that to someone that you meet for the first time, I'm a stuntman, they go, yeah, of course you are, buddy. So in the end, you might as well just say, I'm a bricklayer, and it just gets out that conversation quickly. You can talk about what you need to talk about. But,
until they make you build their letterbox.
It just falls over. It's actually quite a strict test. You have to choose 6 disciplines. I chose, obviously, luckily for me, gymnastics, high diving, gymnastics, trampoline, and high diving. So I literally just took the test and passed, luckily for me, because it can take some people 5-6 years. The whole thing took me about 2.5, 3 years, but I was working in between. And then I did kickboxing, swimming, and scuba diving. And there's like a possible 12, but you have to qualify, and there's different judges for each thing. So it's actually really hard, and it's expensive. You've got to pay for it yourself, and all your free time you're training, trying to get that done. So you're working to make the money, then you go and spend it training, and you just basically, it's a circle until you pass, really. It's full on.
Is there a stuntman code of ethics that you have to live by where you can't use your skills in real life to say fake insurance claims and act like, someone's hurt you when they haven't? Is there a moral compass that guides stunt people in real life?
Listen, no joke. The amount of times I've phoned to get insurance for what I do, and they put the phone down. I'm not even kidding.
No wonder you have to do ads for them.
You do the automated, so it takes 20 minutes to actually speak to a human.
Yeah.
You speak to them, and he's like, "What do you do for a living?" I'm a stuntman, and then it's silence and the phone's down. I'm like, I literally think it's a prank call. I swear to God.
Too good.
Mate, well, you know what? I can't wait to see you in your own movies.
Yeah.
You're really funny.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're a good guy.
Thank you so much.
Everybody should check out
Watch
the book, The Adventures of Eddie and Flip Boy, Bobby Holland Hanton. Thank you so much
Kids
for
will love
talking to us.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Go on,
See you soon,
Bobby.
hopefully.
Cheers. Thanks, Bobby.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.